In our 8th year of marriage, Becky finally agreed to go on a honeymoon trip with me during the holidays. But as we boarded the plane, our honeymoon turned into a party of 3. Watching the northern lights in Norway was also Frank's wish. He's got cancer, you shouldn't be jealous of a sick person. I had waited 8 years for this trip and made countless plans. I worked non-stop for 2 weeks straight to extend my vacation. But at that moment, I suddenly didn't want to go anymore. As I turned to leave, Becky stopped me. If you're not going, can you at least get a refund on your ticket? It's quite pricey. I forced a smile and left this precious holiday to the 2 of them to enjoy. Back home, I accepted the company's offer for an overseas assignment and signed the divorce papers. Nick, is that overseas assignment still available? As the golden sunset bathed my face outside the airport, I called my boss, struggling to keep my voice steady. There was a silence on the other end. Then he finally responded. You said you didn't want to leave Becky and move so far away. Why the sudden change? The heaviness in my throat vanished. I'm preparing for a divorce. Can I still get that slot? Sensing my change of heart, Nick couldn't hide the excitement in his voice. I've always wanted to give you this opportunity. Now that you're asking for it, I'm more than happy to offer it. After hanging up, I crouched by the roadside, feeling like I'd lost my soul. Inside the airport, images of Becky holding on to Frank and walking through the check-in gate replayed in my mind like a scene from a movie. It was like a sharp dagger, stabbing my heart repeatedly, leaving it bleeding. For 8 years, I had longed to see the northern lights. I spent a month meticulously planning this trip, working tirelessly for 2 weeks just to secure this extended 10-day leave. But now, everything I prepared for was someone else's gain. Suddenly, my phone rang. It was a call from Becky. Before I even spoke, Frank's voice came through the phone. This is your honeymoon. Are you sure it's okay to leave Larry behind and take me instead? Aren't you afraid he'll get upset? Becky's gentle voice followed. Don't worry about him. Right now, I'm more concerned about you than him. Then I heard Frank sigh. I'm really scared that one day I'll suddenly leave this world. What would you do then? At least you still have Larry by your side. He's a lot like me, a very suitable replacement. That way, even if I'm gone, I can rest easy. The line went silent, replaced by heavy breathing and a sticky sensation. Frank, I don't allow you to say things like that. No one can replace you. I only want you with me. Why were you so foolish back then? You were afraid of dragging me down, so you married someone else. If it weren't for that, I wouldn't have married Larry. We wouldn't have lost 8 whole years. My mind went blank, and a buzzing sound filled my ears. I couldn't hear anything. My chest ached, and I instinctively placed a hand over my heart, trying to ease the pain. But as I looked down, I saw a wedding ring that was too tight around my right hand's ring finger. The ill-fitting ring had left a mark. 8 years ago, at Frank's wedding, Becky proposed to me in front of everyone. I was stunned, like a heavy blow had hit my head, making my mind go blank and unable to react. She slipped an ill-fitting diamond ring onto my ring finger, and the pain made me reflexively pull my hand back. Still, when I saw her tear-stained eyes, my heart softened once again. She was Becky, the girl I had a crush on for 7 years. Despite the ring being the wrong size, I was determined to wear it, even if it had to carve into my finger. I gritted my teeth, forcing the ring onto my finger, tears streaming down from the pain. Becky gently wiped away my tears. At that moment, I felt like the happiest person in the world. Now, looking at this wedding ring, all I felt was confinement. It hurt so much. I hailed a cab straight to the fire station, asking the firefighters to help me take it off. The firefighter felt uneasy holding the tool, saying, "This ring looks expensive. Why not consider another way to remove it? Cutting it seems a waste." I shook my head. Cut it. Things that don't fit should be discarded in time. The moment the ring was removed, a numbness spread through my finger, and I felt lighter than ever before. The firefighter handed me the broken ring, and the letters Y and C engraved inside reflected in the bright light, mocking me. In that instant, I felt drained, unable to even hold on to the ring. I'd thought that Becky had moved on from Frank entirely when she proposed to me at his wedding. For 8 years, I looked forward to our marriage, giving my all to build our home. Becky lost both of her parents early on and grew up alone. I sympathized with her, meticulously caring for her feelings. She wanted to start a business. Without hesitation, I sold the house my grandfather left me to support her. For 8 years, I stood by her through thick and thin. But after all this time, I was just a stand-in for Frank. The marriage I cherished ended up being a self-deceptive joke. Now, I've decided to let go of both Becky and myself. As I was leaving the fire station, my phone buzzed quietly. It was a short video from Becky. In the video, Frank was looking pale, leaning on Becky's shoulder, wrapped in the blanket I had given her. The soft, warm blanket was snug around Frank. Even the corners around his neck were tucked in tight. It was clear Frank was being taken care of. I remembered a couple of days ago, laid out in bed, feverish and wanting a sip of hot water. I woke Becky, only for her to angrily grab her pillow and get up. I'm sleeping in the guest room tonight. I don't want to catch what you have. And you're only sick, not immobile. Get your own water, quit being dramatic. I thought that Becky was just inherently cold and didn't know how to care for people. Now I realize it's not that she can't. She just doesn't want to take care of me. The difference between love and indifference is so obvious. Yet here I am, lying to myself, dreaming that Becky might, just once, treat me with warmth. 8 years and I'm still waiting. While lost in thought, Becky sent a long voice message. I played it and she tried to keep her voice low, not wanting to wake Frank next to her. Boda, I know I was wrong about this. I shouldn't have brought Frank along without asking you first. I was scared you'd say no, so I just bought him a ticket. Frank has cancer. He doesn't have much time left. Seeing the northern lights is his wish. I don't want him to leave with regrets. You have plenty of time. If you want to go again in the future, I'll go with you. Please just let this slide for someone who is about to leave us. Okay? Every word cut like a knife, tearing me apart. How could she manage to keep up with Frank while faking affection with me? 2 years ago, Frank was diagnosed with cancer, divorced, and lay in the hospital, awaiting death alone. Becky dropped everything to go care for him. She even sold all her shares to pay for Frank's treatment. Sadly, the kidney he received was rejected, and they had to wait for another. Meanwhile, Becky's money was running out. Pressured, she took a job at a small company to save enough for Frank's continued treatment. I fought and cried, but seeing Becky so weary softened me. With a hoarse voice, she said, Frank is really pitiful. Like me, he lost his parents, then his wife left him, and now he has cancer. If I don't help him, he'll only be waiting to die. We grew up together. I can't abandon someone who's almost gone. Do you want your wife to be cold and heartless? Don't worry. I don't have any feelings for him. Just see him as a brother. Once this is over, I'll make it up to you. So I reluctantly agreed to let Becky care for Frank. I underestimated their bond. I thought, after 8 years beside Becky, I'd be important to her. Now I see that all those years meant nothing to her compared to a fleeting moment with Frank. Every time he appears, even if he does nothing, I lose. Hands shaking, I typed out then deleted words in our chat box before finally sending, "Let's get a divorce." The chat continued to show Becky is typing, but no reply came. Exhausted, I bought a train ticket home. 10 days off to spend with family before heading abroad. Coming back won't be easy. On the train, as I tried to relax, Becky called. I accepted the call, and Frank's voice, sobbing, came through. "Larry, I'm sorry. It's all my fault. If I hadn't wanted to see the northern lights before dying, ruining your plans, you wouldn't be getting divorced. I should have just died sooner." Before I could speak, Frank grew more emotional. "You've misunderstood Becky. She just couldn't let me die in the hospital alone. We grew up together. If there was something between us, we'd have been married long ago. How would it even be your turn? She only sees me as a brother. You're reading too much into it." Listening to his fake, provoking words, I couldn't hold back and chuckled cynically. "A brother? I'm really confused now. You used the facade of a brother to be intimate with Becky. Those hickeys on her neck, you left them to claim your territory, didn't you? Don't think I'm unaware of you playing innocent now. One rainy night, Frank cut his finger at home, and Becky rushed out in the storm to help him. They crossed that final line. Afterward, I saw the marks Frank left on Becky and practically broke down. Before I could confront her, she told me she'd bought us tickets to Norway for a honeymoon trip. I didn't want to cause a scene. If she sincerely took me to see the aurora, I'd give her another chance. But she shamelessly exploited my feelings, hurting me repeatedly. Between him and me, she'd always choose him. She didn't know that it was her last chance to hurt me. Understanding this made it easier to bear. Becky grabbed the phone, voice shaky with guilt. It's not like that. Let me explain. She thought she had hidden everything flawlessly, not realizing I knew all along. I didn't want to hear her useless explanations and said coldly, "Let's get a divorce when you're back from Norway." "Don't be ridiculous, Larry. You've got to give me a chance to explain. Don't use divorce just to scare me," Becky replied, sounding both indifferent and impatient, like she was scolding a child throwing a tantrum. For 8 years, I've gotten used to her cold tone, but now it grated on my nerves. I couldn't help but laugh. "Becky, we've been married for 8 years. Have you ever known me to use divorce as a threat?" Becky was silent for a while before she slowly asked, "Are you serious? You want to divorce me over something so trivial? I told you I could explain. Why won't you give me a chance?" She pleaded. I was furious, having fun with another man, and you call that a small thing? How do you explain the hickeys all over you? "Becky, you disgust me." Becky got defensive. "I didn't think you'd be so sarcastic. Competing with someone who has cancer. It only happened once with her. From beginning to end. I love you." "Enough." I struggled to keep my voice steady, afraid I might start crying. "Stop trapping me with your deceitful love. 8 years. 8 whole years. Even a glacier would melt by now, right? I thought you were naturally cold and uncaring, but I later realized you only didn't care for me. Becky, it's so clear whether you love me or not. Don't take me for a fool. I chose to let go and free you too." The moment I hung up, I felt relieved. I once believed Becky and I would never part. As long as I loved her, she wouldn't leave me. But now her love has left me broken. I just can't love you anymore. When I got home, my parents had prepared a big dinner. Mom looked at me, hesitant, then tentatively asked, "Aren't you supposed to be in Norway with Becky? What made you come back all of a sudden? Did something happen?" I took a bite of my food and decided. "Mom, Dad, I'm planning to divorce Becky." Such simple words, but it took me 8 years to say them. Married for 8 years, my parents always urged me to have a child, saying a child would make the family complete. I too wanted a child with Becky, but she always had various excuses, saying she wasn't ready to be a mom or the work stress was too high. All these years, I had to comfort my parents and deal with the pressure of having a child. It was exhausting. Finally, being able to say it without any burden didn't hurt as I imagined it would. Mom sighed, gently patting my shoulder and softly soothing me. "Don't carry too much weight in your heart. Whatever decision you make, your dad and I will support you. Nothing is more important than you being happy. We didn't raise you to suffer. We want you to live freely and happily, following your heart." Becky's betrayal didn't make me feel wronged, but Mom's comforting words made me cry. I hugged my mom, pouring out all the grievances and cold violence I endured from Becky in those 8 years. Instantly, all the pain and hardship disappeared under Mom's gentle touch. Exhausted from crying, I fell asleep right away. I even dreamt a bizarre dream. In the dream, I went back to the summer when I was 15. I had just transferred to Becky's school. Because of a birthmark on my face, my classmates teased me, making me sensitive and insecure. Once, a group blocked me outside school, mocking me. Becky, passing by, stood up for me, scared them off and said fiercely, "If anyone dares to bully Larry again, they'll have to answer to me." The group ran away, and I hung my head, avoiding her gaze. Becky carefully picked up my bag, handing it to me. "Everyone's unique. There's no need to feel insecure because of a birthmark on your face. I think it's quite special, like a black angel." Her words were like a beacon illuminating my previously dark and damp world. Later, I discovered Becky and Frank were childhood friends. They seemed perfect for each other in both looks and grades. How could I, a newcomer, shake their bond? So, I studied hard while sneakily watching their happiness. Years passed, and Frank suddenly announced he would marry someone else. Becky didn't seem as upset as I expected. Instead, she proposed to me at Frank's wedding. I asked her afterward, "Were you marrying me just to spite Frank?" Becky softly kissed my birthmark. "Frank and I have never been together. We're just childhood friends, not what you think. I'm marrying you because I like you." That day, I was too excited to even blink, worried that reality would change once I woke up. To be a beautiful groom to Becky, I endured painful laser treatments to remove the birthmark. Becky's eyes welled up seeing my pain-drained face. "Larry, I'll love you well in the future. I won't let you down for all you've done for me." And all of it felt like a vivid dream of youth, shattering like bubbles in the winds of growing up. When I opened my eyes, it was already noon. I heard a commotion outside. I stepped out to see Becky standing outside the door, looking dejected. Mom barred the way, refusing her entry. "Aren't you supposed to be in Norway with that man? Why are you back so soon?" Becky lowered her head in shame. "Mom, let me talk to Larry. I have something to say. Things aren't what you think." "What's there to explain? The facts are clear." "What more do you want to argue?" Dad said angrily. Becky visibly panicked. "I went with Frank to see the Northern Lights because he has cancer and doesn't have much time left. I didn't think Larry would be that upset about it. I know I was wrong, and I apologized to her." Dad snorted, raising his voice. "Don't pretend with your apologies. We're not buying it. If you truly felt guilty, you wouldn't have done this in the first place. That person got cancer, no doubt, but there are many ways you can help. You could hire a caregiver or a maid. No need to sacrifice yourself. What's your true intention?" "Who knows?" Becky's lips moved, but she couldn't say a word. Nearby neighbors were drawn by the commotion and gathered around to watch. My parents, being older, care a lot about face. I didn't want them to lose face in front of neighbors, so I stepped out to end the spectacle. After calming my parents down, I took Becky to a cafe. "Still an iced Americano?" Becky asked cautiously. I pressed my lips together and ordered an orange juice. Honestly, I've never been a fan of coffee. That bitter taste is just weird to me. I prefer juice. "Sadly, we've been married 8 years, Becky, and it seems like you've never cared about my preferences. Frank likes coffee, right?" Becky didn't deny it, just nodded. I let out a sarcastic laugh. This marriage I treasured turns out to be a self-deceiving joke. I never expected I've unknowingly been Frank's stand-in for a whole 8 years. It's heart-wrenching. As soon as I said that, Becky grabbed my hand, her fingers cold, eyes showing an emotion I couldn't read. Was it guilt? Regret? "I know I did something to hurt you, but some things I must clarify face to face. It's not that I truly want to rekindle things with Frank. I just can't let go of how he left me for someone else. We met in the orphanage when we were 10. He was my everything for so long. I thought we'd always be together. But then he broke his promise and married another. His sudden departure left me devastated, filled with hatred towards him. When I asked you to marry me, you asked if it was to spite Frank. Larry, I married you not to spite him, but because I genuinely liked you. Back in high school, you worried I wouldn't have enough to eat and secretly put your lunch on my desk. You even bought me sneakers when I didn't have any for the sports event. Larry, I knew everything you did for me, but I was too cowardly to face my true feelings. Now I'm going to take care of Frank, not only to mend my own unresolved feelings, but to test if you truly love me and can't live without me. I'm afraid, like Frank, you'll suddenly leave me too. That feeling of being abandoned is unbearable, and I can't go through it again. Yes, my actions were extreme and I ignored your feelings, even causing you immense pain. But at the core, I still love you, Larry. Can you believe me?" Listening to Becky, I felt nothing but laughter. I peeled her fingers away one by one. "Becky, at this point, what makes you think I'd still believe you? You claim no feelings towards him, just resentment. Yet you let him in your bed, leaving marks on you even though you knew I'd see them, causing me pain. Over these 8 years, you have preserved all of Frank's preferences and expected me to live accordingly. You have no idea. I have stomach issues and can't eat spicy food. But to eat with you, I forced myself and suffered through pain that only medication could ease. Plus, my body isn't suited for baggy clothes. They highlight my flaws, making me look heavier. Everything you planned, I disliked, but for love, I forced myself to do so many things. I thought this self-sacrifice would earn a bit of your true heart. But in the end, even our wedding bands were engraved with Frank's initials. With every word I spoke, Becky's face paled even further. Tears welled up abruptly in her eyes as she hoarsely whispered, "I'm sorry, Larry. Will you forgive me and give me another chance? Frank's found a kidney donor, and the surgery is in a week. After that, I'll explain everything to him, cut ties, and go anywhere with you. Please?" I shook my head, raising my voice suddenly. "In my shoes, could you forgive? Becky, reaching a point of not hating you is my limit." I pulled out the divorce papers I had prepared and put them in front of her. "You've sold your shares in the company and used all our savings for Frank's treatment. I won't ask for the money back. Just one thing, let's part amicably and not drag each other down anymore." Becky shook, struggling to stand, voice barely audible. "I won't divorce. Wait for me a week, please." Tired of the never-ending cycle, I stood up to leave. "Becky, you disgust me." As I walked away, I heard her stifled sobbing. Fitting, after 8 years, it's her turn to cry for this relationship. Leaving the cafe, I received Nick's job offer letter, the date exactly a week away. Frank's surgery is on the same day. Fate, I guess, handing me a new beginning on this very day. After explaining my future plans, my parents understood. "You've wasted so much of your youth on Becky. Now that you can drop everything and start anew, your dad and I support you." Before heading overseas for work, I needed to wrap things up here. I ended my leave early. To avoid unnecessary encounters with Becky, I stayed at a hotel near the office. Returning home to pack, the place looked just as it did when I left a few days ago. Becky said she couldn't bear to lose me, yet she wouldn't even return to this memory-filled home. Her love, like herself, is cheap and laughable. I laid open the suitcase and stuffed it with my personal belongings. The place I've lived in for 8 years can have all my stuff packed into just one box. At first, Becky used to complain that I had filled our home so much it suffocated her. But now I realize it wasn't my belongings that suffocated her. It was me. Once everything was packed, I tossed our couple's toothbrushes into the trash. I had bought her an electric toothbrush during a business trip, but she never used it. She claimed she wasn't used to it, yet she kept replacing it with the electric toothbrush that Frank gifted her. If she doesn't need what I bought, then it can all go: towels, rinsing cups, the lot. Half an hour later, every trace of me was wiped clean from the house. Before leaving, I looked around the familiar home. A wave of inexplicable sadness hit me, and my eyes welled up. 8 years ago, Becky welcomed me brightly into this house. It was here on this sofa that I gave her myself. It was also here that she promised to be good to me. My stubborn love turned into a sharp blade, ultimately hurting only myself. During these days of transitioning at work, Becky kept sending roses. Every card read, "I'm sorry, Larry." The words felt incredibly ironic. In the past, whenever Becky messed up, she'd buy roses, write an apology card, and I'd forgive her, without fail. So now she thought giving gifts is the surefire way to win my forgiveness. But she never knew what I truly liked. Without even a glance, I tossed them in the garbage, telling the delivery guy not to send them again. A colleague joked that wasting flowers wasn't necessary. They were so beautifully in bloom, such a pity for the trash. I picked them back up from the trash and handed them over. The colleague hesitated but said she intended to keep them. I shrugged it off. "They're nice to look at. Why not?" In the following days, Becky stopped with the flowers and started sending different kinds of congee for my stomach. She tried cooking for me for the first time. I remembered when my stomach hurt and I craved a bowl of warm congee. She complained while ordering takeout instead. I had wanted her homemade congee, but she looked annoyed and said, "I don't know how to make that. Plus, takeout tastes better. Stop being picky." But I recalled how in high school, Becky made congee for Frank and fed him patiently. I waited 8 years for this kanji, but now I didn't feel like having it at all. I passed it to a coworker instead. Then I texted Becky, "Stop doing these self-soothing gestures. They only make me look down on you more. Delayed affection is cheaper than weeds. With one day before moving abroad, all my work here is sorted." Lying in the hotel, aimlessly scrolling on my phone, Frank called, saying he wanted to see me before his surgery no matter what. After some hesitation, I went. He used to be sharp-eyed, proudly aloof. Now, lying in bed, he's a shadow of his former self, with hollow eyes, weary and exhausted. That once bright young man now blended with the ordinary. I walked to his side, sitting down slowly. His eyes fell on the fruit basket I brought. "Thoughtful of you, these are all my favorites," he commented. I gave a small smile. "You must feel smug having me as your substitute." Frank cracked a feeble grin, his voice hoarse. "I'm sorry. We hurt you." I went in wanting to unleash my rage, but suddenly, it all seemed pointless. I just didn't have anything left to say. Frank continued, "What went on with Becky and me was just a side note. Can you let it go, act like none of this happened, and go back to her? I'm just about to undergo surgery. Can't you ease up on someone who's about to go under the knife?" I never thought he'd have the audacity to speak like this, to put a smile of disbelief on my face. "Am I part of some little game for you too? Why drag me into your sob story? You didn't seriously call me here just to ask me to stick with Becky, did you? If your surgery is successful without any rejection, then what? Will you want me to hand Becky back to you? Do you take me for a fool?" Frank's eyes widened in shock. Maybe he hadn't expected me to respond that way. Back in the day, my love for Becky was all-consuming. I'd sacrifice even my dignity for her. But now, the blinders have come off. She's just like anyone else to me. My heart remains unmoved. He looked sheepish, not daring to maintain eye contact. "No, it's not like that." I waved him off mid-sentence. "I've seen through you from the start. You intentionally left traces on Becky, then wanted to see the Aurora together, followed by making sure I overheard you too. All of it just so I'd be disheartened enough to leave Becky. Honestly, I should thank you. Without you, who knows how long I'd be duped by that fraud. Thanks for the trash collection." With that, I turned to leave. Frank called after me, "Do you really not regret divorcing Becky?" I grinned faintly. "Rest easy, I don't go back to leftovers. Tomorrow I leave, and when I've got time, I'll handle the divorce papers with Becky." Frank stared at me, incredulous. 8 years and you're really letting go just like that? Can you bear it? I turned, looking him square in the eyes. "I lost some trash that didn't love me. What's there to miss? I should have done this ages ago." And with those words, Becky appeared before me, her figure frail. Her lips quivered, eyes reddened. "Larry, is there really no hope for us?" I nodded. "Becky, you know I have a thing for cleanliness. I don't share partners." She swayed, struggling to stay on her feet, her face soaked in sorrow. Suddenly, a wicked idea popped into my head. "You keep saying you don't want to leave me. If you can ditch Frank and come to the airport to see me tomorrow, then I won't leave. Can you do that?" For a moment, Becky seemed out of it. Then tears rolled down her cheeks. She begged me, "Larry, please don't go, wait for me. Okay?" Even though I already knew her answer, hearing it from her brought me a feeling of relief. I guess I was really over it. I let out a cold laugh and walked right past Becky. Becky didn't come after me. The next day, I got on a plane to Country A. Becky sent me a picture from outside a surgery room. On the third day, she pleaded, "Larry, please wait a little longer for me." I coldly blocked her on everything. Living in Country A kept me busy and fulfilled. Life was pretty amazing, but all of that was shattered when Becky showed up. She was skinnier than before and looked really exhausted. I never thought she would come all the way across the ocean to find me. She held me tightly. "Larry, I finally found you. I really missed you. Ever since last time, I couldn't reach you. I almost went crazy looking for you." I pushed Becky away hard, still speaking coldly. "You came here, what about Frank?" She looked down. "His surgery went well. He's recovering fine. He's doing okay now." I smiled. "Well, congratulations. You two can be together forever." Are you planning the divorce now? Can the spot still go to me? So you tossed me aside again and chose him. I cruelly pointed it out. Becky broke down in tears. I regret it, Larry. I really do. After you left, I realized I can't live without you. My life's full of your memories. I'm losing my mind without you. I gave a cold laugh. You don't miss me. Just the assistant who took great care of everything for you. Becky, don't come back. If we're talking about the divorce, I can calmly discuss it, but nothing else. I really can't stand you. Becky stood there stunned. After a long while, when the wind picked up and it got a bit chilly, she finally turned and left, hunched over. 2 years later, I went back home and smoothly got the divorce papers with Becky. She and Frank never ended up together either. I didn't keep up with their news. Instead, I left again and focused on my work. My work in country, it got better and better. I love being this hardworking version of myself. Whenever you want to start fresh, it's never too late.